Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. I guess I'll start making another video about the C10 upgrades. Just hanging up upstairs here. I finally got my man cave all finished. Pretty fantastic place in the garage. But anyways, we'll dive right into the C10. So what happened was we went out and bought a 1975 400 out of a Caprice, and it was a 2-bolt main, and we had no idea how many kilometers were on it, what kind of shape it was in, and we just decided to throw a bunch of speed parts on it and hope for the best. Not normally what I do. I take my time. I tear engines down. I rebuild them from scratch, as you can currently see right there. But time was of the essence. My cousin really wanted this thing running, and I said there's a possibility that bad stuff could happen, and it did. We ended up taking it out a couple times, and in the end we spun a rod bearing. So I guess the update will be this thing right here. So we went out, we got a 6-liter iron block LS, and I'm going to attempt to stuff this thing in here today. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's already got the flywheel on it. I put that on there. We got it from Rock Auto. You can find these things. The cheapest way to do it is 2002 or 2003 4.8 Silverado 1500 came with a manual transmission. If you go buy the flywheel for that off Rock Auto, it's like 110 bucks. And it lines up with your stock starter, you're golden. So flywheel's all on there. We got these cheap shorty headers off Amazon. I was actually really impressed. I mean, the quality is so-so there, but I mean, we paid $1,000 for this LS engine. We're putting it in bone stock. I wanted to rebuild it, but of course, summer's here already and we want to get this thing going. It was running when it was pulled, so we're gonna call it good, do an oil change. We're not hopping it up, we're just sticking it in there. Next winter, we're gonna do it. But I'm gonna try and do a little step-by-step on how we're gonna LS swap this thing. It's gonna be pretty easy. Because we had the Terminator EFI in this thing with the throttle body, I suggested that all we do was get a harness to hook into the Holley HP system, and then just get like a dual plane or single plane carburetor intake, and then put the throttle body on that, and then we're good to go. So that's what we did. So all in all, this flywheel was 120 bucks. Those headers were 130 bucks off Amazon. That intake is a dual plane A premium, I think the name of it was. It was like 200 bucks on Amazon. We're not even like barely over 1,500 bucks, and this thing's gonna go in, and that's it. Like, there's a couple things here and there. The wiring harness costs some money, but just the fact that we're LS swapping it into this thing for under $2,000, I'm really impressed. I mean, obviously it already has the computer in there from the previous setup. It already has the fuel pump. It already has a bunch of other stuff. But I mean, this quick turnaround, I'm really anxious to see how it's going to turn out, because when I first did LS swap like 6 years ago, everything was few and far between and cost a bazillion trillion dollars. So anyways, that's the update. We're LS swapping this thing today. I got to pull out my car. It's freshly painted and hiding under here because I've ran out of space, believe it or not. But anyways, I'll pull this out, get that engine out of there, try and make a couple videos in between doing it, and hopefully we'll get the finished product done by this weekend, on the road and off to some testing. So stay tuned to that, and we'll more content coming. So it's the end of day one. Put in a pretty good day today. We got the 400 out. I haven't actually cracked into it to see what exactly went wrong with this thing. I'm pretty sure, like I said earlier, it's a spun bearing. But anyways, pretty good first day. I basically cracked at this all day long. The 6-liter iron block is in. The throttle body is on there. I'm currently waiting for some exhaust manifold bolts, because the bolts that came with this kit off Amazon were not the right size for some reason. Everything else is done. I redid the exhaust in the back of the truck. That's all plumbed up. Changed the oil. Basically waiting for the Holley harness to come in, which is supposed to be in today, and some different spark plug wires, just because we needed a 90-degree just to clear these headers. Got the hose all figured out. for this thing. So all that's left is power steering pump, which is fairly easy because this fitting here bolts right back into the truck LS one. And then the return is just the hose clamp with that. So yeah, that's it. It's all bolted in. It's there's a lot of work, but yeah, hopefully tomorrow we'll get that harness in, get a tune in it, and get it fired up and go for a test drive. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning, everybody. It is currently 5 o'clock and day 2 on this build. So we're gonna see what I can get done today. I'm currently at the mercy of Amazon and UPS. Amazon will probably be here at noon, so I can button up like the exhaust manifold and do the power steering. Maybe I'll push this thing outside and give it a pressure wash because it's pretty dirty everywhere. We kind of live in a rural area, so I'll give it a good wash before I send it back home. And that's it. UPS, I'm not relying on them too much. That's kind of the final puzzle piece. That'll be the wiring harness for the ECU to the motor. And UPS is usually like 4 to 5 o'clock in the evening. So it might be a slow day or it might be a productive day, but we shall see, and I will keep you guys posted. All right, so end of day 2. What have I got done? So far, now everything's back up on the lift. I put everything back in for the night, but waiting on spark plug wires. Those should be in tonight by Amazon. I got the wiring harness from UPS around 4 o'clock today. I stuffed it in there really quickly just to see if I can get some kind of activity out of the engine. It did fire up, but it was running on like 3 cylinders maybe. I think it might be just a bad ground, or I just didn't ground it properly. I kind of just, twist tied wires together in there just to see if something would happen. So tomorrow I will get all that better wired up and I will show you inside the engine bay. I got the power steering all plumbed up, and I did all the water hoses, which I had to make some modifications, and I'll dive into that tomorrow. So that's it for tonight because I'm pooched, and I'll see you. All right, folks. So it's the beginning of day 3. I need to finish wrapping up the wiring, make it a little prettier, get it out of the way. We got the spark plug wires on, and I have been pulling my hair out to try and tune this thing this morning. So basically, in a nutshell, I was trying to run the TBI off of a TBI tune through the Holley HP system, and all I would do is go in the ignition parameters and set it to GM24 reluctor wheel, and that didn't do anything. The thing only ran on like 3 cylinders, and it was unhappy. So then what I did was I went into base calibrations and I stole an LS 24X tune, but it was drive-by-wire. So then I had to go in and change all that. Then I figured I could change the injector settings to the TBI. Then after that, I had some problems with the IAC control. It was just revving like crazy, but then I figured out it was the secondaries were kind of jammed open a little bit. So it's been an absolute tuning nightmare so far, but I'm getting there. I'm gonna clean up all this. I got coolant in the thing. I got new plug wires on. Finally, I can start this thing, and it just purrs like a kitten. There we go. There's the IAC setting off. Everything's happy. So I'm gonna call that good enough for now. And I'll wrap up all this wiring, and then hopefully sometime this afternoon we'll take it out for a ride and see what it'll do. So I'll keep you posted. So here it is, all wrapped up and ready to go. Gave the truck a little bit of a shine, and took it for a little test drive, and should be fine. It's just on a basic learning tune. I had to do a couple little things to it, which I'll get into another day, but Buddy really wants to go for a ride, so I can't deprive him of that. So be on your merry way, good sir. Runs all right, idle's good. He just needs to learn how to drive, but that's fine. No idea where he's going. All in all, it turned out pretty good. He's happy, I'm happy, it's out of the shop. that's the end of that. We'll bring this chapter to a close. Probably a little bit more tuning on that thing another day. But as for now, it's out of the garage and we can move on to bigger, better things, which would be, ta-da, crankshaft and connecting rods came in today. So I am going to start building my 6.2 aluminum stroker engine with LT heads to put in my Camaro. So anyways, I'm gonna call it quits for today, clean up the garage, have a beer, and that's that. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for your support and subscribing, and have a good one, everybody. Cheers.